Man, probably a fun fact on me is that I like to read. Like I like to read. That's a lost art nowadays. Oh, my great uncle is Jesse Owens. He won 4 gold medals in 1936.
I always want to leave people with this, man, to all the viewers and everybody out there, man. Make sure you guys finish your story. Make sure you guys finish your journey because somebody's going to need it.
Yeah. All you got to do is push the bad button. That's all you got to do. Push the signal.
Try not to think about the future too much so you can maximize the now.
Who's your favorite rap artist?
Man, to be honest, it's crazy. Tupac always been my number one, right? Like he got me through so much stuff, but Lil Wayne has been in the modern day.
I said, what does it really take? What does it really take to be great, Drew? And he looked at me and he was like, you really want to know? And he was like, to be honest, everything you did to get here, you need to be consistent times 10.
Welcome, folks. We are here for, what is this, the third tap out show that we've ever done. We're gonna keep these going for the big cards, for the big fights. This is one of my favorite shows, low key, because we don't do them a lot. So when they pop up, it's always a great time. And this is the only one that I get to run. So with that being said, I'm gonna bring on some guests, starting with a guy you guys know already, the villain, my man, Jake from State Farm. Jake.
Yo, hey, good start to the weekend, huh? Happy Easter, everybody. Early Easter. We got a very, very good fight card this weekend. So we just we talked about it earlier in the week, got it all set up for you, and we're ready to run through these fights in this fight card and give you our solid predictions with a little bit of MMA news.
Sounds good, but we can't do any of this without the expert.
Absolutely.
We can't now without the expert. And my favorite for the next rookie of the year, especially because we don't have any other rookies right now.
Oh, 100%.
My man, Wu-Tang Trend.
Yo, what up?
What's good, brother? How you doing?
How you doing? The expert analyst.
Expert analyst. He is the guy.
Get out of here.
So this is going to be a fun show. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, we got a bunch to talk about. Oh, this leadoff topic, man. This leadoff topic is going to be I didn't even see this coming, honestly. But first, I'd like to check in with you guys. How we doing today?
Good, man.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I was kind of excited waiting for this to happen. Last couple of days, we knew we were going to do this. I'm like, yeah, let's get to this tap-out show.
Yeah, we talked it through. I made sure I asked around. I wanted to see if there was any motion on it. You seemed interested. I messaged Mike. Mike was like, I'm actually really excited for this card. Hell yeah, let's do it. Let's do a podcast. I'd be into it. And I'm like, all right, guys, time to get some planning in. I'm excited.
Mike's always ready for the tap out.
And I'm glad Will's getting another shot here with the hosting because I think he did excellent last time. I actually did some organization stuff this time, so this show should flow for you, the audience.
Absolutely. And I nailed the intro this time, finally.
It was excellent.
Two attempts, and we got this one to go. So
and Mike Tran's feet are wet too with the podcast. I know he's excited for this. We're ready to go. Wu-Tang Tran.
Wu-Tang Tran in the building.
You know what makes this card really interesting? This is why I'm so. Not only is it a stacked card,
but
what makes like everybody's situation unique is that almost everybody on this card is in a must-win situation. Adesanya, Jorge, Kevin Holland. These guys have to win this fight.
It's the desperation card. Like it's just like back against the wall. Yeah, I like that.
That's what makes this exciting because it's going to be competitive as hell. Everybody's going to want to take the W in this one.
I couldn't agree more. So, with that being said, our very interesting first topic is WWE UFC merger.
Yeah.
What is this about? Jake, I'll let you go.
I needed to bring this up because I was hearing a lot. There's a lot of things going on in the MMA community, especially in the UFC, with a lot of people they're attacking and going at the judges, which I'm not gonna lie, I am one of them because there is especially it just feels like there's always one bad egg within the judges. Like I think it was 2 weeks ago, it was the fight. It was literally just the last main event. I don't know why it's slipping my mind. Give me one second.
Russian judge every time.
Yeah, it's Vieira and Sandhagen. Someone gave Sandhagen a complete round where, in my opinion, that was a complete sweep. Sandhagen utterly dominated him the entire fight. It should have been no question. Someone gave him I think 49-48 over.
Yeah,
and it was unbelievable. And they gave him 3 out of 2 rounds. I'm like, this is impossible. There's no way. He controlled the octagon. He kept distance, kept pace, and he kept moving and took every bit of a game plan from Marlon Vieira's game plan. He starts slow and then he powers off in the third in the championship rounds because he's been in so many main events on Fight Night.
Yeah.
I don't know how a slow starter who couldn't even get his game plan rolling or started even won around that entire fight. So that was unbelievable. But that's just one bit of what I'm bringing in.
What up, Chris?
Yeah.
What up, little dude? See
how we doing?
Appreciate
Welcome to the show. WWE coming into the UFC. A lot of people are already attacking the UFC thinking that some of the fights are fixed. Now with WWE coming in, they're going to think that, you're going to get a run-in with the Money in the Bank contract. Brock Lesnar's coming back to cash in on John Jones for the heavyweight belt. There's just a lot of jokingful things going around, but at the same time, some people are taking this serious because people are already thinking some of the judges and some of the fights are fixed to go this one way, which fixing fights and fixing games have always been a problem within sports, and this just makes it worse.
To be fair, Money in the Bank, isn't that kind of what the BMF belt was? Not for nothing. That's kind of what that already was. But yeah, that would be funny if some of that stuff happened. The internet always wins with the jokes. But yeah.
But I, as a professional wrestling fan, think that this was great on the side of the WWE because it was an American-owned company, and I like that an American-made company is staying within an American owner. I've always been about American-made things, keeping it American type of thing. And the fact that WWE got to stay was really nice. It's the best thing that could have happened instead of them being predominantly located in Saudi Arabia because they were really big buyers in it. Mm-hmm. That it got to stay here, and it got owned by another entertainment promotion from Endeavor. Ari Emanuel, who was, I believe, he bought the UFC from Dana and his co-people, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Ari Emanuel's kept it afloat ever since. It made buku bucks off of it in certain fighters, and now he's got WWE under the control, which in turn made Vince McMahon go back into power after his shystiness. So I think it was all a plan. I think it was all a plan on Vince McMahon's part to get back into power in WWE since he could pretty much resign and said, I'm done stepping away. But at the same time, my biggest thing and why this is being brought up in an MMA podcast is that it's great for WWE, but it's bad for the MMA fan who thinks that this stuff is fixed. And I don't like it because I don't think that people should look at it like that. I think they should look at this, that this was a business opportunity that the parent company of UFC couldn't pass up. They pretty much have nothing in common and will never link up other than being owned by the same parent dude because they're completely owned by 2 separate entities below Endeavor.
I mean, how's that any different from Disney? They got their hands in everything. And
yeah. Exactly.
It's another conglomerate, just absorbing companies.
But if you guys had any certain takes or how you felt about the buyout or within the MMA and WWE community being locked now, if you guys had any ideas for it, or if you think it's a good idea, bad idea for the UFC, if it was a bad idea that they were involved.
You can weigh in, Mike.
I personally don't have an issue with it. Like I said, we live in a world where it's all corporate, it's everybody has their subsidiaries, and like I mentioned before, Disney, they got ESPN, Marvel.
Right.
So I mean, at the end of the day, it's it's all entertainment. I get it, MMA is a sport, but it's also entertainment at the end of the day too. You gotta branch out. But yeah, I don't see any conflict at all. I don't even know why it should be in the same conversation, actually, in my opinion,
Yeah, I got the package for I get Disney Plus and then I get Hulu and ESPN together. And my ESPN never bleeds into my Disney Plus, and my Hulu never spills on my ESPN. It's not a problem, I don't really think. I think it's good to have people who run entertainment run things. So I don't think it's a big deal. I do think you're probably right. Another maniacal twist for McMahon. He's always doing something. That guy's, look, shiesty or not, the guy's a shrewd businessman and he knows how to play his cards. So
Yeah, he's the shiestiest of shiestiest, but you're right. He knows how to play the system and get out of trouble quick. I mean, he got out of the steroid scandal back in the 90s, and that was a miracle. I don't know how he was able to pull it, but
I don't think that's much of a pull. It's no one cares for that sport.
Right.
So like,
well, at least it's considered a sport. You said it.
It's entertainment.
It takes some athleticism.
I'll tell you this: you jump off of a cage through a table. I'm not gonna not call that a sport. It's crazy, but it's not a sport. It's no less a sport than skateboarding or something like that. So,
but not bad. I think it was a good business decision for Ari Emanuel on his own to be able to pull off another another company that takes big time, promotion type deals, and Endeavor's just going to keep on growing. It's pretty insane in my opinion.
That sounds like also I'd like a little minor pushback on it. There is some crossover though. You do got guys like CM Punk trying their luck. You got guys like Brock Lesnar who's been there in both worlds. And I think honestly, I think it's a good avenue for if there is athletes. Because look, I know we just look at them as wrestlers, we look at them entertainers, but these guys they do the work in terms of putting their body through hell and working out and training. If any of them at a young age. See, now there might be a connection. If at a young age you're in the WWE and you think to yourself, well, I'm at peak physical fitness. Why not I try some of these disciplines? Maybe you can get some guys who can cross over. Now, it hasn't really worked. And
I did hear that Colby Covington at one point was interested in doing stuff with the WWE.
Oh, and that was going to be my next point. Going the other direction, that's going to happen a lot.
I did hear
the best guys in MMA are going to be the guys who talk a lot, right? The guys who run their mouths and are because they sell it. And I can see on a lot of occasions now, I can see guys who they run out of, like they get too old, they age out of the MMA world, slide right in to the WWE. Shamrock did it. Like, there's an endless number. I mean, Kurt Angle wasn't exactly MMA, but Kurt Angle, from a wrestling standpoint, went on to do it. So I can see that happening a lot. I don't see a problem with this merger at all.
Someone did say that they thought it was hilarious that Matt Riddle couldn't get away from Dana White as being one of his bosses.
Yeah, that's actually comedy. Yeah. And one more thing I'll say to the people who worry about matches and stuff being fixed. I don't think. Look, I always say the same thing to people who think things are going to be fixed. Then don't watch. It's fine. We won't miss you.
Yeah.
If you think it's fixed, then don't watch it. It's not a problem. That and also, look, there's already some fights that we have questions about. So WWE coming in isn't going to change that.
Yeah, and there are some crooked referees. There are some referees that do see a lot, but at the end of the day, you also do got to remember that these people are human just like us. They're going to make mental errors on what they think is going to happen. They see it different. They're right there up on the cage watching it face to face, so maybe they see something different. But I just think that Marlon Vera and Sandhagen fight was just the absolute worst showing. But that's just my opinion on that. But other words, it doesn't have anything to do with each other, so let it go. It was just some rich business guy making a new business transaction.
Yeah, money in the bank.
Yeah.
Well, all right. That's topic one. I saw that when you put it down, and I'm like, that's crazy. I forgot about that happening, but yeah, it's interesting.
All right, we finally got a podcast for MMA. I'm like, this is probably the only time that we'll be able to throw this on.
Yeah, that's true. For topic number 2, I know we would hope to have video, but my capabilities are not quite there yet, and we don't have Coach to hold us down.
Right.
So, but I'm sure you can Google it, you can YouTube it, you'll find it. There was a mix-up.
I'll throw the link in the comments section if y'all want to see it.
That works. There you go. But there was a little bit of a mix-up at what was it? The Fighters Hotel.
Yes.
And this is crazy. This is a worlds colliding for me because these are literally two of my favorite fighters. And honestly, both of them are officially career underachievers. We got Kevin Holland and Jorge Masvidal running into each other and exchanging words. So what do you guys feel? I don't know what sparked this. I actually haven't heard the backstory to this, but if you could, whoever doesn't know, shed some light on this. And
To be honest with you, I did not get any kind of backstory on this. This just seems like Kevin Holland, who is a notorious talker, going against another guy in Jorge Masvidal, who is, of course, another notorious talker. And they just ran into each other. Someone probably called the other guy a bitch, and then that blew up into what it was.
These guys don't shut up.
Yeah, the interviewers tried to, or at the press conference, someone tried to bring it up, which is where I initially heard about it watching the press conference the other day. And Dana White shut it down and was like, these two aren't even fighting each other. Do we got any more stupid questions? Like, he was pissed that this was even brought up. But
yeah, too bad he had to do his job. Like, it's fair to bring this up.
It's like personality clashing, you know. Especially like Jorge, you know, he's already a hostile, you know, confrontational dude. So it didn't take much to set him off, you know. He's like to me, he's like another Diaz brother.
He's like a long lost Diaz. Seriously, they anything will turn them off. I mean, get them going. And it's funny because Holland just talks in general. It's good and bad. It's not always shit talking. He just doesn't shut up. Period.
Yeah.
During the fight too.
Yeah, I love it. That's one of my favorite things about him. Like you can audibly, especially during some of the fights where there's not as many fans, you can like audibly hear him just having a full-on conversation during fights. And I just think that's amazing.
It was best at the Apex during the whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
You could literally hear it with the empty arena. It was
Seriously.
like, bro, he's literally looking right at him while he's on his back in the ground. Yeah, I like that. And then he hits him with the ground up. Yeah. Oh, dude, it was insane.
Yeah, Holland, man, just on a side note, Holland's he's disappointing me big time because he has all the talent in the world. I mean, that knockout from the ground that he got, who was that against?
Jacare.
Yeah, Jacare. That was one of the most impressive feats I've seen in combat sports ever. Like a torque of his right hook. Was it a right hook that he hit him with? I believe.
Yeah,
so.
It was a right hook.
Yeah,
he used his leg to gain momentum.
Yeah, and like he just swung the leg back, and it is just impressive. But often he seems uninspired in the ring, just like he'd rather be having the conversation than the fight.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Jake.
No, you go ahead and finish. You start first.
Like I feel like he's also one of those like personalities. Like he I feel like his career is a little mismanaged too. I don't think you just start fighting anybody, anyone, anytime. He's kind of like a cowboy Cerrone in that sense.
Yeah.
It's like you do to a degree have to like pick and choose your fight a bit, you know what I mean? But he just fights anybody that they throw at him. I remember there was one year he had like 4 or 5 fights back to back or something like that, something insane like that.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. It's not even just the anybody fight. It's like how often he was fighting, and it sucks because I have conversations with a good friend of mine about MMA, and two of the things that we complain about constantly is guys ducking certain fights and being really picky and choosy about their fights, and also guys not fighting enough. And he qualifies for both of these, that he does both of those things, and it's actually kind of hurt his career because he hasn't won them all, and he hasn't looked inspired during some of these fights, which, yeah, not ideal.
Well, yeah, no, Kevin Holland had a really nice stint in 2020 where he won 5 out of 5 fights, and he took them like months apart. He started in May, took a 3-month break, took a fight in August, then September, and then on Halloween, followed by ending it off in December with a knockout of Jacare, like we said. Yeah. It was an insane run, and then he finally goes against some real big-name competition because he was getting some wind behind him, and he went against Derek Brunson, who was on a roll as well at that time before he got shut down, and he lost to him by decision. And then he went against another high-profile competition guy when he was getting higher in the ranks against Marvin Vettori and also lost by decision. And then he had the accidental head contact with Kyle Dawkins, which that match got done because Kevin Holland couldn't see or whatever. Then he finally got back on the win train when he went a little bit down in the competition. He was able to beat Alex Oliveira and Tim Means, and then he got the fight short notice against Khamzat Chimaev and lost by submission. And then he's on a 2-fight skid right now because he lost to Stephen Thompson shortly after that.
The Wonder Boy fight's a bad loss. Not that Wonder Boy isn't the man and still has a lot in the tank, but an aging fighter of similar caliber, you're younger, you're more fresh. You got to win that fight. You got to beat Wonder Boy there, and he couldn't do it.
Kevin Holland's only 30, right?
Yeah. Taquan in the building.
Yeah.
Was good.
Hey, shout out to Taquan, coaching up the youngins.
Absolutely.
Bringing us our new NBA stars here very soon.
Facebook user, who is this? I cannot tell right now because I am not as good as Coach yet. And speaking of the devil, he shall appear. What up, Coach?
What's up, Coach?
But yeah, so also on the flip side of that argument, we were talking about Holland. Yeah, like you said, both have to win. Like both have to win this week. And Masvidal, he's even come out now and I think said it, and basically said, if I don't win this fight, I'm probably retiring.
Yeah, pretty much this is a win and go after the title or lose and I'm done. Because he's up there. He's like 38 years old.
Yeah, he started late. Yeah, so
he's got over 50 professional MMA fights as well. So he's like he's seasoned. He's been there.
He's also on a skid too. He hasn't.
Yes.
The truth is he hasn't really been relevant, honestly. Like other than the fact that he's a big name that people want to see, he hasn't been relevant since like 2019 when he went on that run, and it wasn't even that crazy of a run. It was mostly just kneeing the hell out of.
Well, he got the little bit of fame beating Darren Till because Darren Till was a hot commodity and a big name that Dana White was trying to push to become the next big thing. Me and Mike had a conversation about this when we were working at DHL together, and he beat Darren Till by a knockout of all things. Mm-hmm. And then they were bringing in Ben Askren because they made the trade for Mighty Mouse Johnson, and Ben Askren came to the UFC.
And Ben Askren like lucky shot or not, but he smoked him.
And Ben Askren had got the first fight against Robbie Lawler, where apparently Robbie Lawler was out, but he wasn't. He stood right back up and was like, "What was the deal? I was transitioning." And then he got this fight with Masvidal. They talked a bunch of shit. He hit him with that running knee, which then brought up the BMF belt title against Nick Diaz. He beat him, and then that's when they gave him Usman, and he was fed to the wolves and lost to Usman twice, and then lost to Colby by decision.
Yeah, it's been rough after.
Well, what's interesting for me is like and I'm saying he will. It's a small chance.
Yeah.
But if he does beat Burns, it does like change the landscape a little bit for the welterweight division. Like,
and it shouldn't really, but it's going to.
And it's going to.
It's going to.
You know, it doesn't make sense in terms of like ranking standards, but they might give him Leon Edwards only because there's like you can promote the shit out of that fight. You know
which honestly is outrageous. There's no like he should have to fight like Usman first, and then at least one other person, maybe even two, to even get to Leon. But that'll
be his third title fight after doing barely anything. Yeah. But
to be fair, the first Usman fight, I do feel like that was the toe stomp gate. I hated that fight. Like the fact that Usman was just toe stomping him into oblivion, and they called that a win. Like he won, but like it's an advantage, taking advantage of the scoring, and it was lame. But he smoked him the next fight, though.
Didn't that fight go to decision as well?
That's why it was so bad. Like it went to decision, and he won by points after just stomping on his foot for half a fight. Like, are you kidding me? That was terrible. But then the second fight, he put his lights out. So
we will absolutely get more to talking about the Masvidal and all these other fighters when we go to our expectations and our predictions. But for now, we're going to go ahead and give you the card breakdown. The early prelims, I'm not going to say that they're bad because we just don't know the fighters and there's no reason to really cover them at this moment. But I will give you the prelims and the main card and what you will be looking for. To start off the prelims, which I believe will start at 8 o'clock on ESPN+, it's going to be Carl Williams versus Chase Sherman, GM3 versus Joe Pyfer, Michelle Watterson versus Luana Pinheiro. I think that's how you say her name. Kelvin, because Mike's going to correct me on these because I'm going to start saying these names right. Kevin Gastelum versus hometown 513 boy Chris Curtis.
Yeah, that
wraps up the prelims. Starting at 10 o'clock, we get the main card, the real meat and potatoes of this fight. It's this. There's all meat, no potatoes in this card, man. It's fantastic. We got Raul Rosas Jr. versus Christian Rodriguez. Two very young fighters, both with incredible records, getting main card recognition. I like it, but I got one problem with it. I'll get to it when we get to the fights. Kevin Holland versus.
You do it.
You ready for this, Mike? I'm gonna get this one. Kevin Holland versus Santiago Ponzinibbio.
Your guess is as good as mine. I know who you're talking about.
He's from Argentina.
Yeah.
We got in the bantamweight, Rob Font versus Adrian Yanez. I am so excited for Adrian Yanez. This kid is so good.
Honestly, that's gonna be a striking banger.
Yeah, it's gonna be outstanding.
I can't wait for that.
No ground on that one.
Yeah. Gilbert Burns versus Jorge Masvidal, and then Alex Pereira versus Israel Adesanya.
Big Unk in the house. What's good, Unk?
Oh,
Appreciate you, brother.
thank you very much.
Absolutely.
But that is the breakdown of the cards. Those are the 9 fights that you are getting, and I don't see anything on the early prelims that I should bring to your attention. But
you know what else I don't see?
Go for it.
A bad fight on that card so far. From what you named, I don't see a bad fight.
These are all absolute bangers.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about it because we're not going to touch it, but I actually am very excited for the Michelle Watterson versus Leanne Pinheiro fight, because I did not know that, because I did some research on it right before we popped on. Luana Pinheiro is undefeated, I believe, in UFC, and she's going against a vet in Michelle Watterson, who had a lot of hype years ago and then fell off because I think she got married and had a kid and just stopped caring about fighting. So I think that this is I think we got a new star in the the strawweight division arising in women's MMA, but we got to see. We're all just getting little tidbits, because if you're not ranked 3 or higher in the women's divisions, you kind of don't know what you're getting besides really green fighters.
She's got to go through the grizzled vet first. So
exactly, but that wraps up our first segment. Unless you guys got something to add.
Going back to Kevin Gastelum, another must-win position too, man. He was somebody with a lot of hype on him a while back, and like I said before, everybody's in a must-win situation. It's weird, and like that's what makes this card really interesting. You know,
it's the redemption card.
You don't usually get that either. Yeah, you don't usually get that either. It's usually like you get like 1 or 2 of those type of fights, and then you get some up and comers. But this whole fight, like, there's always one person on this card who needs to win this fight. So I couldn't agree more. So that is one hell of a first segment, boys. I think we're gonna take ourselves a nice little break, but we're not going far. So you don't go far. We will see you in 15, 30. Let me see.
Hold on to your butts.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
What's up, world? Kyrie Robinson, man. New Orleans Saints veteran. Hey, man, make sure you guys go check out my guy, man, STWF, the media, man. Check them guys out. Y'all want to get sports talks with players, with fans, anything like that, man, go check them guys out, man. That's the place to be if you want to talk sports. Who that nation?
And we are back. Every time.
Yep.
Got caught. Red-handed.
Hey, it happens. I made sure that you got the tail end of it, though.
Absolutely.
All right. So go ahead.
Yeah. So now this is the part of the show where we give you the real juice. You know, the fights that you want to watch. If you can't watch the whole thing, which we've already made clear, you need to watch this whole event. But if you can't, here are the fights that you got to watch. Take us there, Jake.
And before we give you the fights that you need to watch, it is a great time to share this out. Like, comment, subscribe. Check us out on YouTube, Twitter. We got the TikTok. We got, obviously, here on Facebook. I'm thinking of one more. Oh, Instagram, too. We're all over the place. Follow us at STWF Media, Sports Talk with Friends podcast. Please, as soon as you see down below that little share icon, it would help us out tremendously if you went on ahead and shared us out. Thank you very much.
Oh, Numo Spect in the building.
What is up? All right, so here we go. Hey, I ain't going to give you the juice. I'm going to give you the meat. Here we go with the fights you need to look for. We got GM3, grizzled veteran. He went on a tear after losing to Chimaev. He is going against a Contender Series darling, Joe Pyfer, who is 10-2, and his last 2 fights were two of them, remember, 2 first-round knockouts. They are really high on this guy. They're getting him in there with a real big veteran who, in my opinion, should be in the rankings, but they're not giving him the rankings. GM3 is a submission specialist, which is why I was surprised he didn't do as good against Chimaev. But if you're going against a wrestler from, Chimaev over there, you're not going to be able to get him down and wrestle him. But that is one fight to look for. Your next fight to look for is I didn't write it down. Why did I not do that? Hold up. Timeout. Kevin Gastelum and Chris Curtis. Like Mike said,
is this some home cooking?
Huh?
Is this some home cooking on this fight? Did you pick this fight? Yeah.
No, I had this fight. I thought I had it all down, but I didn't. I got all the fights I wanted to talk about written down, and that one's not on there. I just got GM3 and Joe Pyfer in the main event. Kevin Gastelum, he's been in there forever. He's an interim champ. Was he an actual champ, Mike, or was he just interim?
He was just no. I don't think he was interim. He fought for the interim title. Remember against Adesanya. When they're in the whole like Robert Whittaker debacle, and yeah, that was like that whole situation.
Yeah, that
gotcha. So we've got Kevin Gastelum versus Chris Curtis. Chris Curtis is 30-6, and he is very pissed off right now. One of his last two fights, he went against Jack Hermanson, and he pretty much played the back off game and ran away from a striker. If you don't know Chris Curtis, he's a homegrown talent from good old 513. He moved out to Las Vegas. He is a striker, and he was a boxer before he was a mixed martial artist, so he's very good on his feet, very good with the striking. Jack Hermanson, the fight, because I watched that, and I remember rooting hard for Curtis wanting to knock this dude out. Hermanson was just dancing around the ring. He was pulling the old Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather. Floyd was just running around the ring, not trying to get hit, and that's exactly what Hermanson did. He came back and got a KO win over Joaquin Buckley. He went back to his roots, didn't chase, waited for the fight to come to him, knocked him out in the second round at UFC 282. Chris Curtis is back to doing what Chris Curtis does, and I think he's going to take it to Gastelum. Gastelum, I believe, is still ranked, but he's not ranked very high. You could almost say that this might be, well, Mike already pointed out, if Kevin Gastelum loses this, he's pretty much just going to be a gatekeeper. So if he cannot win this fight and come back from what he once was, Kevin Gastelum's reign of terror that he had at one point is done, because he's coming in on a 2-fight skid.
And you might have to correct me if I'm wrong. I think Gastelum's like now ranked like 15.
I believe so. I think it is 15th. He is he's 1-5 in his last 6 fights.
Yeah,
those are Masvidal numbers,
right?
It's not good.
Yeah, and his last 2 big wins, which came back in 2017 and 2018, was against Mike Bisping and Ronaldo Souza. So, and then he lost to Adesanya. Yeah, he lost against Darren Till, Israel Adesanya, Jack Hermanson, Robert Whittaker, and then he lost recently to Jared Cannonier.
I mean, all very capable and good fighters, but L's nonetheless.
And his only win was back in 2021 out of those 6 fights against Ian Heinisch. And to be honest with you, I've never heard that name before in my life. But yes, those are the 2 fights to look out for. Do you guys have anything you'd like to add to the Joe Pyfer GM3 fight, or to the Kevin Gastelum and Chris Curtis fight?
Actually, may I throw in another matchup? I don't think these guys are on the main card, but this one stands out to me. It's Raul Rosas Jr., 18-year-old prospect.
That's on the main card, Mike.
He's not on the main card. Okay. He's somebody I got my eye on. And like I said, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm glad that we had our names, but I'm also excited for like the next generation of fighters. And it's good to see some new blood, some young blood, especially. So I got my eye on him on this fight. So.
Absolutely. Nice. It's gonna be fun. He's going against another young fighter. It's gonna be awesome. But that's our 2 fights to watch. It took a lot less time than we needed to, so we're gonna go ahead and push through this next break. Yeah. We got the main card now, so we've got 5 fantastic fights this weekend. I mean, these are absolutely outstanding. A lot of redemption fights. I mean, you could even throw Rob Font and him needing to get this win as well against Adrian Yanez. Like you guys said, these are all redemption fights to where if these guys lose, like, they could go into gatekeeping, obscurity, step-in fighters if they need to. Kicking off the main event.
That's a possibility too.
Yep. Kicking off the main event, we've got Raul Rosales Jr., who is 7-0, going against Christian Rodriguez, who is 8-1. 2 very young guys fighting in a catchweight 137, because I believe Christian Rodriguez missed weight by 2 pounds. So it was supposed to be a bantamweight fight, but we had one fighter miss weight. there's a lot of hype behind this young kid from Mexico. Raul went off in the Contender Series, and then he debuted it a few pay-per-views ago and was able to get a bonus extra 50 G's from Dana White.
Yeah.
It was insane. This kid's got a lot of potential, a lot of hype. The only thing that I say that he has going against him is the fact that he's young. He's 18. He has not gotten. Of course, you got to work these guys in. He's looking for a ranking, but he's going against a very young guy. If he can get past Christian Rodriguez and then get someone within the top 15, or hell, I mean, I'm not going to like this idea because he's my boy. But if they put Raul against Cody Garbrandt, that would be a fight to get him into the rankings.
Mm-hmm.
Because Cody Garbrandt went to flyweight, lost his rank at bantamweight, came back, won in the bantamweight division, and I still don't think he got a rank. So if he can win and get a fight scheduled with Cody Garbrandt, which I think would be a very cool matchup because these guys could both strike very well, and Raul still has some good ground game along with him. That would catapult him into the rankings, no problem. Definitely in the top 15. Mike already gave us a pretty good explanation on why he's excited for Raul. Do you have anything to add to this young kid, Will?
No, I love watching the kid fight. I think he's got an energy to him. It's not exactly like Moreno, but I get the same vibes when I watch Moreno. I love him as a fighter, and I hope he keeps continuing to take the UFC by storm. I think he's going to win.
There's a lot of look, this is where I'm starting to agree with Mike. I do personally like the Ultimate Fighter just because you get something new weekly.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, the Contender Series, I feel like you get better fighters coming from the Contender Series.
Yeah.
And you get to see more of them going against real, it's like a make or break. This is a last chance at getting a title for the UFC. These guys are literally throwing it all out there trying to get a contract.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So
pageantry. It was just cut right to it, man. We signed some talent. You know, there's a lot of them out there.
You got Raul Rosas Jr. and Joe Pyfer coming from the Contender Series on this card alone. The last pay-per-view, we got Bo Nickel. I mean, we've got 3 really good guys coming from this, and I think Luann Pinheiro, who's going against the Karate Hottie, she's from the Contender Series as well. So there's a lot of Contender Series people coming up that are doing it, and Jamal Hill, our light heavyweight champion of the world, he was a Contender Series darling as well.
Yep.
So the Contender Series is producing a lot better than the Ultimate Fighter because anyone who's won the Ultimate Fighter, you never hear from the dude again. I can't believe it, but ever since Usman's brother won the Ultimate Fighter, he hasn't fought once in the UFC, and he was 2 seasons ago's winner. Wow. But he had a contract, right?
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, so we're still waiting to see what he does. He's got a scheduled fight, I believe, coming up soon, but he was 2 years ago's winner. He was
I wonder what that's about. That's an interesting situation.
Right? He was in the season that Juliana Pena and Amanda Nunes were the coaches. So we've moved on from there quite a bit. It's time to see what Usman's brother's got. He's a heavyweight, meaning he should be able to hit hard. He should know how to wrestle too. This guy should be competing against, the lower versions of Cyril Gans in the division and see what he can do. Throw him in there against Dawkins since Dawkins is falling. Throw him against Tuivasa. Give us something because you got the 15 top-ranked heavyweights, and then you've got nobodies. There's literally 5 other heavyweights. So you got to throw him against somebody.
I wonder if because he's connected to Usman is coaching him on how and when to take fights and who to fight. Because I wouldn't, for the fans and for the sport, sure, throw him in against Tuivasa, but I don't know as if you're in his corner if you want that, because Tui's a one-hit wonder guy. And
Muhammad Usman has been cornering Kamaru Usman for the last 2 years, I believe. So he's been training and been with Kamaru, which means he's also training with Trevor Whitman.
Interesting.
Which all he does is produce champions. So we'll see what they can get out of him. But they're 2 different people. They're brothers, but they're 2 different people. They're 2 different sizes.
Yeah.
You really got he might just be a dud. You never know.
Well, we will find out, won't we?
Right. My prediction for this fight, I'm taking Raul Rosas Jr. Pretty easy.
Same. I think we're all unanimous on Rojas. Nothing against
Christian Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, yeah. I think it's Rodriguez. He's a great fighter, 8-1. I think he's running into a buzzsaw.
Oh, absolutely. This guy, I think he's going to tear him apart. I think Raul Rosas is going to get him another 50 G's this weekend.
Oh, you think he's gonna
Um,
performance of the night?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, interesting.
And they give out a couple of those, so I think he's got a better
Yeah.
chance of winning that than fight of the night.
Yeah,
Because I
Makes
think
sense.
fight of the night, honestly, is going to be Rob Font and Adrian Yanez, if I had to give my best guess.
okay.
Next fight, and this fight too has a chance of being fight of the night as well, in my opinion, depending on what Kevin Holland comes out. Next fight on the main card, we have Kevin Holland, who's 23-9 right now on a 2-fight skid, going against Santiago Ponzinibbio. We're going to go with that. Who is 29-6. Santiago had a really good fight against Nico Price a few fights ago, who are two of the most entertaining middleweights out. Middleweights, right? Yeah, welterweight. Wow, I thought they were middleweights. Welterweights out there, and Santiago pulled that win off. As Mike stated earlier, this is a redemption match for Kevin Holland, and Santiago is trying to make one more run before he gets too old at a title run, and he's just trying to get ranked, and he can get it off of Holland because I believe Holland's ranked 12th right now. So we'll see how that goes. You guys got anything for this?
Man, either this, like you said, could be another like possible like fight of the night, or somebody's getting smoked right away.
Yeah,
and I think if Holland better not be playing around this one, because I can see him just getting smoked too. You know, because Santiago does have knockout power.
Yeah. Now, Holland doesn't always take things seriously, and because he's so gifted as an athlete and as a fighter, he still loses, but he gets away with it.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you 100%. I do not believe he can get away with half-assing this fight. He better come out to win this fight, because Santiago will take his head off. That being said, I'm going to go with Holland. I'm still biased. No matter how much he disappoints me, I still root for the guy because I love watching him fight, and I want him to be in the UFC. I want him to still be relevant because, like I said, I just love his whole aura, him talking during the fights, and I just think he's what the sport needs. But the upside of him is what the sport needs. What we don't need is this not fighting hard enough and not taking things as seriously as he should. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Holland on this one.
Because he got like a knockout not that long ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it might change it a little bit. The last bit. So I might say Santiago, because I think that Holland's chin's a little weakened.
That's fair. That's fair.
That would be my guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fair. It's going to be a good fight, though. They got to come out swinging, both of them.
Go ahead, Will.
Well, the main thing is that Holland wants to stand up and fight.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys won't. Santiago, he won't have that problem with Santiago. So
Santiago wants to bang.
It's going to be some fireworks. I can't wait.
Man, it's tough for me. I really don't know who. I got a fandom for Kevin Holland, and I get called out for this all the time, but I try not to get too personable with these fighters. So it's hard for me to pick, but I've seen Santiago fight before, and I really like the guy too. So it's one of those cases where it's like I saw Dustin Poirier and Michael Chandler fight. I'm a big fan of both of them, but I was rooting for Chandler, and then you get disappointed even though you're supposed to be sitting there just trying to watch a really good fight. Yeah. I'm going to give the show a first ever. I'm giving this a draw.
You think they're going to draw? You think the two guys who would throw bombs are going to draw? You would.
We've gotten a lot of draws lately. This has been the year of the draw.
You find out who's judging this fight? Is that why you determined that?
No, I'm just playing. Just go ahead and give me Kevin Holland. Screw him. Let him start his comeback tour. Let him have a little fun. He's on a 2-fight skid. He needs this one. The last time another fighter went on a really bad skid, he was able to pull off a win, and that was Cody Garbrandt. So it was another homegrown guy that I like from Cleveland. And I'm gonna go ahead and
out on this one. I'll be the odd man out.
Hold on.
Hey, Jamie's on your side too, though.
Right? Yeah, no. Jamie's going crazy in the comments. I like it. Hey, look who made a comeback. Kawan. Did you tell him about what I said about Lamar?
We will. It's not the day, but I will let him know.
All right. Next fight. Go ask your mom, please. Rob Font and Adrian Yanez. This has a potential of being fight of the night. Rob Font's coming in 19-6, and Adrian Yanez is 16-3. This is Rob Font, the number 6th ranked bantamweight, going against Adrian Yanez, the number 12. This is his first real shot at really big, well-known competition. And I think Adrian Yanez is going to come and produce. And I'm giving my pick right now. Adrian Yanez is going to win this fight. I love Rob Font. I love his story. I love what he's done. He's one of the OGs. He's awesome. But Adrian Yanez, like Mike said, I love these new, young up-and-comers. He's getting this done.
Yeah, I say Giannis TKO.
Yeah,
second round.
Yeah, I got a first round. I think he's gonna light him up. To answer this question, is she talking about the guy that Sugar Sean O'Malley was beating the brakes off of? But he wouldn't go down. He just wouldn't take the L.
I think she is talking about when he
the bad
Sugar
boy
Sean went against Jan.
No,
Jan.
No, it can't be Jan because she's saying that he got his ass beat constantly. Jan didn't get beat down like that.
I know.
No. Jan beat the crap out of O'Malley, but he got more damage. I don't remember. It might not.
Yeah. No. Talking about a different fight, like much like in the distant past. Like
yeah. Okay. Anyways, I thought it was interesting. Yeah, I got Giannis winning this. Yeah, first round he's gonna. Yeah, see, that's why I think
you're twisting my damn words.
Ooh.
Quit being so personal, Jake.
I'm not. Look, everyone's got a favorite fighter or fighters that they like. So, I mean, I like Santiago a lot. I said I like both these guys, so it's hard to pick. It's right down the middle for me. So I gotta go Holland.
When we all have favorites, but when I have favorites, I just go like for example, I love Sugar Sean, so I usually pick him, but I make it clear that I'm picking him because I like him and I think I want him. Same with Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland, like I said, he could easily lose this fight, but I want him to win, so I'm gonna ride with him on a particular time. But yeah, let's so what we got next, guys?
We got the grudge match, the battle of the 305. We got Gilbert Burns, 21-5, who's going against Jorge Masvidal, who is 35-16. This is going to be a barn burner, or this is going to be a sit on the ground fest for Burns. Like Mike mentioned earlier, this is make or break for both fighters. Whoever wins this fight, depending on how they win it and how convincing it is, this guy, one of these two, could easily take over Colby Covington's spot for contender. And the only reason that they were giving Colby Covington the next spot up is all because the dude went and weighed in for the welterweight belt. That's it. All because Dana White's exact words were, he went out there, he weighed in, he made weight, so why shouldn't he get the next fight? What do you mean? All because he made weight? Dude, all these fighters make weight, so they all deserve title shots then, right?
It's a low bar.
Ridiculous. What's up?
But man, like I have my favorite too. I'm a huge Jorge fan. Jake knows this all too well. But I have to go with data and statistics. And statistically speaking, Jorge's going to lose this one.
Yeah.
The odds are against him. Like, he has trouble with very durable grapplers with heavy hands. And Burns is not that far off from Usman in terms of, like, fighting caliber. Like, I can see him getting
that part
grappled and getting hit with, like, very, like, heavy, like, power punches. So we'll see. The only way I see
will you turn that down for me, buddy?
Winning this is a quick knockout. A very quick knockout.
Very early, very quick. He's got to
hit that running knee again. Real quick, Kwan. Absolutely, Kwan, that part. I, in my opinion, think Burns won that fight, and just because they're trying to push a new fighter, that's the only reason that he won. I think he won that fight very handily. So, we agree on that part. I think Burns should have given him his first loss, and I'm pissed that he didn't. I think that was just blatant favoritism, and Dana was in the judge's ear saying, make sure he wins by decision, split decision.
I thought it was closer than what you said, but I do think it was close, for sure. I got Burns winning this fight, but I'm rooting heavy for Masvidal. I don't want him to retire. I want him to keep fighting, although maybe I shouldn't want him to keep fighting if I like the guy, because he's been taking L after L after L. So
yeah, and look, hey, real quick, I see some Colby Covington talk in the comments. I want to make it very clear: Colby Covington, the fighter, and Colby Covington, the person, they're two different people. This dude puts on a show. He's a classic professional wrestler. He's a heel. He's me. He's a villain. The dude does exactly what he's supposed to do to try to get pay-per-view buys. He, as a fighter, I think he's entertaining in the ring. I think what he does in that octagon by taking people down, crushing them on the ground, beating them up top, I think he had Kamaru Usman beat that first time they fought, and the only reason that he didn't win is because he got clipped 2 minutes left in the 5th round, and he lost. But he was winning that fight. He would have got the belt. As a person, I can't stand the dude. He talks too much shit. We disagree on some other things that I'm not going to name because this is a sports podcast. But other than that, the dude just talks shit outside and tries to start shit. His head's wanted in freaking Miami. Hey, good luck for him even trying to get down there. They do another pay-per-view there. But Colby Covington, the fighter, deservedly so, one of the best welterweights currently in the division.
This has been a public service announcement about Colby Covington.
As a person, he's a fucking scumbag. But I saw him popping off in the comments about Covington. I had to throw it in there. My pick, give me Gilbert Burns. I think Gilbert Burns is just way too talented for, street Jesus. He's going to go out there and try to bang. And even though he said that he went out and got wrestling coaches and he's done nothing but wrestle since he heard about this fight, he's been working with high school coaches, college coaches. The only way that helps him and he can win this fight is if he can use takedown defense. He's not going to be able to do anything on the ground. If he can hold himself and work on the takedown defense, and he does not get taken down and keeps standing, he's got a chance. He's got a real legit chance if he can stay standing.
You know what? I'm gonna retract my statement. I'm gonna go with Jorge Masvidal based on sheer faith.
Let's go.
He's my Lord and Savior. I'm not gonna stray away from the flock.
Street Jesus.
Street Jesus all the way. I don't care. You know what? This is my new prediction. Street Jesus by baptism.
By baptism. Let's go.
3-piece in the soda.
Also, Jamie gets it. There is no close. You win or you lose. Anywho,
I don't know how you mean that, especially if it goes to decision by knockout or submission. Cool, but the thing is, it is close because if you get caught or you get a sneaky slip of a submission
I'm saying
you didn't skate by. You won definite, but
let me clarify. What I'm meaning is that in the end, like it's just win or loss. Like, yeah, you can have a close fight, but you don't get credit for that.
But like we were saying in the message group earlier, especially when we go to start talking about Adesanya and Pereira, you made a statement that I absolutely disagreed with, and my point couldn't get across because it was in messages, and we are talking about that next.
Close only counts in, was it horseshoes and hand grenades?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But final prediction. I think even though I don't want him to, but I like, this is another one where I like both these damn fighters. Give me Gilbert though.
Hey Jamie, you kind of know how that feels, don't you? Moving forward. What's next? What we got, Jake?
Next, we got the main event for the middleweight title. We've got Alex Pereira versus Israel Adesanya. Pereira, in his very young UFC mixed martial arts career, is 7-1. He is on a 7-fight win streak. 7-fight win streak. He's going against Adesanya. This is Adesanya's personal boogeyman. He's lost to this guy 3 times in a row. He lost in kickboxing twice, and he lost in his title match for the UFC fight. The only thing that I don't understand about this is Adesanya said this is his last chance. He's putting a very high bar up on himself.
What do you
I
mean?
don't think he needs to do that because he said during the interview, this is my last chance, this is my last shot.
And what's not to understand about that?
Now,
That's 100% factual.
Is he talking about the title or is he talking about going against Pereira?
Clearly Pereira.
No, it's not the title. If
Pereira maintains the title, then they're one and the same.
This is how I see this whole situation playing out. It's going to be like the Max Holloway-Volkanovski fight.
Yeah.
2-2. If Adesanya loses again, he has to start right back from the beginning. If Pereira wins, I see another immediate rematch. You can't tell me that.
Wait, you think if Pereira wins, they fight again? I think they're done. If Pereira wins, you can't throw this fight again.
You're telling me, so Izzy won't get another title shot until Pereira eventually, and ultimately, I know he'll lose to whoever he fights next.
Well, everyone eventually will lose at some point. It depends on who he fights next.
Yeah.
If he goes against a really good wrestler, which Adesanya is not, he's going to lose.
But I can see
Possibly.
Adesanya wrestling in this match too. I can see.
He's gonna have to
too.
win.
He called up Kamaru and said, "Help me."
Yeah, there you go.
Um,
I can see this like going just like the Max Holloway Volkanovski. Like if Adesanya loses, he has to fight at the like start his get back in line and fight his way back up again.
Mhm.
But I see if Pereira loses, there is a possibility that this might play out kind of like Stipe and Cormier, where they're fighting back to back again. You know,
If Pereira loses, yeah, I could maybe see them giving them one more because even though it's a total of 3 right now, it's only the one in UFC.
Yeah.
So maybe like UFC goes, look, I don't care what happened before here. In terms of here, they fought the first time, a belt change hands. They fought again, a belt change hands. We're gonna make it the trilogy, and that's gonna be it. But even then, it's like this is already kind of over with, like ahead of time, because he has beaten him 3 times, and 2 of them handily in terms of the finished product. Now, I know that Adesanya definitely kept his way in 2 of those fights, but at the end of 2 of those fights, Adesanya was trying to clear the cobwebs out of his head. And one of them, he was snoring. So,
man, don't even put that thought in my head, Jamie. Or whoever said that, Kwan. Please don't tell me if Pereira does pull this out, the guy they throw at him is going to beat Chimaev, because that'll just piss me off. It'll be an undeserved title shot.
you guys need to remember, Izzy was winning that last fight, almost knocked him out in the first round.
yeah, he was.
That's what I was saying. That was what I was talking about in the message group. The thing that I had a problem with that you said, Will, is that you said that Adesanya in that fight got smoked. He did not get smoked.
What I mean, smoke is when you get knocked, and he got knocked. That's it.
He did not get knocked, though. He was still standing looking at the ref saying, "I'm here. What are you doing?"
He was standing against the fence. He said, "I'm here," to the ref after the bell rang. That means you were gone for a little bit.
Here's the thing. You got to remember, Jake, one of the rules of the Octagon is you have to intelligently defend yourself, which you did
Was not. Here's the other reason.
I think the only thing I got against what you're saying is the fact that he got smoked. He did not get smoked. It was a close fight all the way through.
Your only problem there is whose definition of smoke we're using, yours or mine. And by mine, look, here's my problem with the fight. What's the one thing Izzy has to worry about with Pereira?
Power.
That left hook mainly. And what did he lose by? So even
a couple of hooks from both sides.
Mainly the left hook is what stumbled him bad, and that's what basically ended the fight, because the rest was just window dressing. Here's the thing. If the one thing, I don't care if you're winning a fight the whole fight, if the one thing that you're not supposed to lose to the guy, like you're supposed to worry about, if that's how you end up losing, you didn't do your job.
And I feel like the referee was very generous too. He
let him go. It could have got real bad. Like the idea that you think that he was still standing and said, "I'm all right." Like, bro, if the ref didn't step in there, they'd still be counting.
Yeah.
Like he'd
but
be on the ground.
There's also two separate things here. Again, let me give you an example. The reason why I say he didn't get smoked is the same reason why I say Colby didn't get smoked by Kamaru. Both fighters in this stance, who was Adesanya and Colby Covington, were winning the entire fight.
Yeah,
because both these fighters got caught in the last 2 minutes does not mean they got smoked. It was a close matchup. They did not get smoked. They barely lost.
How stubborn do you want to be? How stubborn do you want to be?
I'm being stubborn as hell over this because they didn't get smoked. There's a difference.
You're having your own. All right, fine. Listen, that's your definition. My definition of being smoked is his lights were out. Yes, they were out. I don't care if he was standing. He was standing up against a fence, leaned over. Like he was out, bro. He got smoked by a left hand. That's smoke. When you hear the word smoke, for some reason you think of the whole fight. I'm not talking about the whole fight.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I'm thinking. When I'm saying getting smoked,
all right, but I'm not. So get over it.
Like saying in football, it's 28-0 and that's final score.
Listen, we literally about 3 minutes ago, we already decided we understood the difference between what we're talking about, and you still can't let it go. I'm telling you. I'm just saying smoke by that left hand, which is the one thing that he's supposed to be worried about. And the whole fight, he kept circling out to that left side. If my homie's not here, but he would tell you that I kept saying, yo, he got to stop doing that. He's got to stop doing that. And sure enough, it came back to haunt him in the 5th. Here's the other thing, too. When Pereira's corner told him, look, you're losing this fight, the minute they told him that, he stopped being cautious. And even though he started being more aggressive, so he was taking some shots in that 5th round. but then he got him in position to where he wanted him, and that was it. He put his lights out. And you want to say, it was close. I get it was a close fight. He got smoked in the end of that fight.
I think we're good. I think your idea, or what our difference in definitions here is that your definition of smoked is getting caught.
He got caught, especially getting caught by the one thing that you're not.
That you should have been coached on and been looking for the whole time.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, we're good. Okay, I get it. You're not saying that he got dominated. That's the thing. That's all I was worried about. I was taking it different, especially through text message, but we're cool now. Yeah, I got that. No, that's fine. He got caught.
When someone gets dominated, I'll say that they got dominated for sure.
Which is fair. I'm really interested in this part. Kawan, Taquan, and Jamie, since I know you guys are definitely in the comments, Coach and Unk, if you're there too, anybody in the comments, I want to know your main event prediction.
Yeah, everybody, throw your predictions up. I honestly think he's proven in the past to be able to be disciplined enough to keep guys back. I think he will do it this fight. He will go full Mayweather. He will soundly technically win this fight. But again, if he lapses for a second, Pereira will put him to sleep. But I'm gonna pick Izzy this time. I think he's built different as an entire athlete. However, a lot of the comments he's been making leading up to this, Pereira lives in this guy's head. This is something that he has to shake. Honestly, if he doesn't shake this, it is going to follow him the rest of his career. He needs, again, back to Wu-Tang's point, he needs this fight. He needs to win this, which is crazy for a guy as accomplished as Izzy is, but he needs to win this fight. His career is very much in question, despite all the greatness we know about him. If he can't get this monkey off his back, it's not good for him.
Yeah. And the other thing, this fight, the Pereira fight, the first one, it mirrors the Jan Blachowicz fight in a lot of ways too. He struggles with people bigger than him. You notice that he's really good at playing the range. He couldn't do that with both those guys. If you watch the Pereira fight, rewatch the first one, he was backing up a lot. And that's what got him caught in that fifth round. So in this one, he needs to get comfortable fighting in the pocket and closing that distance.
Absolutely.
So if you can't manage that, I don't know. But if I have to make a prediction, I really think both guys want this really bad.
Mm-hmm.
My prediction, I see this ending in a close split decision. I don't know who, but I see a close split decision. I see this kind of playing out like Zhang Wei Li and the second Rose fight.
I'll say if it's a decision, it heavily favors Adesanya because that means it went the distance. And anytime it goes the distance, he's probably gonna outscore you. That being said, if he tries to stand up and really stand in there, he's gonna lose this fight.
Oh, I was about to type it, but I can go ahead and say it. Will, do you know, or can you possibly throw it away? Or do you possibly know what the fight odds are for this fight?
I do not. I'll pull that up. Let me see.
Because I'm actually interested to see where Vegas has split this.
You guys can talk while I do this. That's how that works. We couldn't shut Jake up the whole time. I was waiting for this. All right, so it has it's Izzy lightly favored. He's minus 140, Pereira plus 120. So I think they all thinking the same thing, that he's just a professional and he's gonna
No, correct me if I'm wrong. Wrong. Do what?
Money line with 2. Whenever it's all we all just have to ask him. He'll do it.
I'm almost done with it. I think. Oh wait, my bad. That was a mess up. I do believe from what I saw is that somehow, some way, Masvidal is a favorite against Burns just because of the home field. I thought someone said that he was favored where I saw, but I never looked it up myself.
We will ask Toop again. Who's favorite in the Masvidal fight? Hold us down, big brother Toop.
I'm interested.
Yeah.
He's writing a paragraph in 3 different messages like he normally does. Give him a minute.
That's our guy, man. That's our guy.
I love to. All right, I got the smallest of soapboxes to say with this. Adesanya. I liked him when he first bursted on the scene. After he became champion, for some reason, he became boring. He has boring fights and goes to decisions, and it's unentertaining. The only thing entertaining is his entrances. But personally, being the fan of the movies and the anime and stuff I am, this dude literally has created, like we've said, his own boogeyman. He's lost to him 3 times, just like when the hero loses to the villain 3 times. You come back for that final saga. He's got to beat him. I'm rooting for Adesanya this. I got Adesanya. I think he's got to win to finish this Hall of Fame legacy. He's already a Hall of Famer, but this would be like the icing, the little bit of flowers, the everything that you need on top of that last little bit of a birthday cake. And I think I got to go with Adesanya just for a cool story victory.
The crazy thing about this is that he, like we were talking about earlier, if he wins this, they probably get a 3rd fight in the UFC. And then he'll win that. Or he'll have to win that. And even if he wins that, Pereira still has 1 up on him overall. So this is I think he's got to beat him twice, honestly.
Yeah. And real quick, Kwan, I'm gonna call you out on this. I hope you know by giving out an opinion over something, you're obviously showing favor and a like towards something. So there's nothing personal about this pick. This is strictly me giving an opinion off of 2 fighters. There's nothing personal about it. I said that I like when he bursted onto the scene because it was something new and fresh, and then he got very boring in later with the fights. There's nothing personal about it. Every opinion that a person gives, it is a personal opinion about it.
Jake, you realize why he keeps doing this is because it keeps getting to you.
Exactly. But I need him to understand what a definition of a person
does understand.
Is.
He does.
I don't think he does.
It's very easy to troll you, and that's why he's doing it.
Don't let
Did you find those fight odds for me? Did Tuke find those fight odds for us yet?
No, I think Tuke just bailed on us finding the odds. So I will look up the odds. So we're looking up odds for Masvidal and Burns.
Just like Kimbo, I'm street certified.
Yeah. Kwan, I called you out multiple times over the last month and burned you every time. But anyway, we're moving on.
Burn or smoke?
No. Burns. The money line is on Burns. Like
really huge.
Yeah, huge.
Okay, I don't. Someone was saying during the presser that he was favorited, so I was confused on where that came from.
Masvidal is the huge underdog, +3.
Maybe they were saying because maybe they were talking about like the fans being the overwhelming, crowd favorite to Masvidal.
Yeah, he's a huge. Oh, there it is, right? Jorge +8.
Jesus resurrection.
Seriously, he will ride. Hey, near Easter too. Let's do it.
Near Easter, I know, right?
That's fantastic. Oh, that would work. That's hilarious.
It's his time. It is his time. Let's go.
That is fantastic.
We are all going to hell.
Hey, odds was against Jesus too, and he overcame him. So
absolutely.
Otherwise, it wouldn't be a book of Revelation.
So
if he wins, I know how his victory speech is going.
Yeah, seriously. I'm retiring. I'm out.
He's that guy title.
So does that wrap it up? We got
Yep, we got final thoughts now.
Oh yeah, final thoughts. All right, so give us your final thoughts that don't involve coming at Taquan or Kawan.
I don't go at Taquan. Me and Taquan are boys. Me and him are brothers from another mother. But Kawan, he thinks he can come at the villain, but he loses every time. Not the point though.
I haven't seen a single loss yet.
This is a fantastic fight card. I am so glad that we've stumbled upon this card because there was a lot of fights that fell off of this card that were replaced with excellent fights. And they even gave us like a full prelim of something to look forward to. And we got that 2 pay-per-views ago. So they've been hitting us with, as Coach would say, hot fire. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited to see what the young guns do, and Joe Piper, Raul Rosas Jr., and Adrian Yanez. I think they're going to light the show on fire. So I absolutely cannot wait for this. You guys, final thoughts on this?
Oh,
You can go ahead, Mike.
Us or the commentators? Me? My final thought? Ooh. We'll just say in the end, us as the fan, we win.
Yeah.
100%.
I would have to completely agree. I think this card's going to be great. I am going to be locked in my seat. Going to have to get all my food and not get up. I don't want to miss a thing. Yeah, I can't wait. I cannot wait. It's going to be a great fight. Great card, I mean.
Will, you got any announcements on behalf of Sports Talk with Friends as our final send-offs before shout-outs?
No, not so much anything new announcement, but just to make sure that people understand, you guys need to be ready for the draft party. We want everybody there. The 27th, I believe. So Thursday, we're doing the first round. We will be live the entire first round, coming right in your living rooms, right with the draft. Whole draft party. We want everybody involved. It's going to be a good time. We're trying to get some guests. We're all trying to bring, every one of us is trying to reach out to like friends and people that we know who are knowledgeable about college football and about the draft and NFL, and we're going to try to bring them on. Because like I said, like I continue to say, we are not the handsome guy from the red zone. We cannot stand there 9 hours without peeing. So we're going to have some guys sub in.
The draft party is going to be insane. I don't know if we're going to have that 1-800 number ready, but if we do, that's going to be the best part. I can't wait for that. Get the call-ins.
Oh, from what I am told by the higher ups, 100% going to be a go on the
awesome
on the
1-800
number.
Get your foods ready. Will, did you figure out what you're eating for the draft party?
You can't go wrong with wings, man. You gotta do wings.
Got to get the
it's
wings.
Like I treat it like Super Bowl. Wings and maybe some pizza.
I'm sticking with the Jimmy John's.
Jimmy John's, you can't go wrong with Jimmy John's either.
Right? Yeah, no, I'm gonna get 2 sandwiches the entire night. I'm gonna eat one right at the beginning and then eat one towards the end. We are gonna have a couple of different hosts throughout the night. Coach. It's gonna be Coach, Will, Taquan, myself, and Hope, maybe Unk. I'm not sure yet. 5 of us rotation so we can all get our small little breaks because both days are going to be very long. It's going to be the longest podcast that we ran yet. Live and upcoming. We don't do fight nights, sadly. We might get onto that if this show gets a little bit more heat and traction, which we're getting some nice comments. Next weekend, Arnold Allen versus Max Holloway. Max Holloway is one of Mike Wu-Tang's guys. And I really like Arnold Allen myself. I think he's a nice young up-and-comer from Britain. He's had some hand problems, but Max Holloway's a dog. Like him, too, a lot. He's an OG of the division. Whoever wins this fight could catapult themselves up into the next thing. Next UFC main card, Sterling versus Cejudo. The return of Henry Cejudo. That's going to be insane. Charles Oliveira's on that card, too, against Beneil Dariush. Bryce Mitchell was supposed to retire, but he's coming back to fight Jonathan Pierce. Jessica Andrade is on that fight card as well. Marina Rodriguez is coming back. Lots of good fights on that next card, so we will probably be doing a podcast for that show as well. Thank you, everybody, for being in the comments today. I believe we had a fantastic show. Just so you know, Kwan, I respect you, my brother. Thank you for being here. I wanted to call you out one more time and just thank you for being here and making the villain happy. You guys got some shout-outs?
Man, shout out to everybody. Look, we always have our loyal fans and everything, and you guys are here on a regular basis. We had upwards of 10, 11 people in here at any given time tonight, and we averaged around about 7 or 8, which is right on par with some of our favorite shows, including the Chop Up and stuff like that. So we really appreciate everyone here. I want to do the coach thing where he thanks everybody by name. Thank you, Coach, Taquan, Numo Spec, Jamie, Kawan. Who else we had in here? Chris, Little Dude. I don't want to miss anybody because he never misses anybody.
You said Taquan, right?
Yep, of course, Taquan. He already know. I ain't got to say him. He know he's here.
I just want to make sure Taquan got his roses.
Of course. And who else we got? I think I got everybody there. Man,
hey, who's this Chill Bill? I like that name, Chill Bill.
That's me. That's me on YouTube.
That's you?
Yeah. And shout out to you guys, my man Wu-Tang, and his you did a great show again, once again. Numo Specters. Oh yeah, Bree, that's right, Bree. Sorry. I always forget. But yeah, man, just thank everybody who came through. We appreciate y'all. And shout out to the brand.
100%. Mike, you got some shout outs?
Man, thank you so much, guys, for having me on. I'm having so much fun. Like, really, like, thank you, man. Like,
Absolutely. This has been great. Yeah, so this has been another Tap Out show. Stay tuned.
Hey, I got some shout outs.
Oh, I thought you went. My fault.
Nope, I started it up. I just wanted to make sure Quan knew I loved him. Anyway, so shout out to you guys, as always, being on this show, getting the Tap Out show up off the ground when we tried to start it back in November or December, I believe. It's been a dream of mine to make sure that this show got up off the ground, had some fun. So thank you guys. Will, thank you for hosting. Mike, thank you for being the expert analyst and coach. I know you're probably still in here, or if you play it back and you hear it, thank you for being the behind-the-scenes producer for this. Let's keep it rocking. Hopefully Taquan can get on for the next time.
He definitely will.
Fantastic card. Looking forward to it. The next couple cards are looking good. I'm really excited for the NFL draft show. Also, everyone in the comments, especially the haters who think they can come at the villain, but they just don't realize I'm undefeated, never beaten, never phased. So bring it on some more. This has been the Tap Out Show. Thank you for tuning in.
Peace.